Hello, my beautiful brothers and sisters. This is Lorelei Fenton, your roving Ancient Awakenings reporter here today. And I'm really excited to see you again. As you might remember, some of you in my private life, just so you know, I'm also a transformational personal growth and life coach, which kind of translates to feel great and love your life very quickly. And I also love to sing, so sometimes I do sing a little. And we're going to talk today about a lovely channeling on the 13th of May, 2018, where we actually heard from Commander Ashtar, the commander of the Galactic Federation Fleet. And we also heard from our dearly loved One Who Serves. One Who Serves, for those who don't know, is a collective of a number of ascended masters who join us one at a time. And they stand on being the oneness that we all are by remaining anonymous. And by the way, after 2 decades of non-disclosure on who any of them were, we did learn who one of them was. And that was at the last advance. And this one is really a spiritual icon to many of us, like an icon. And no, I can't say who he is. And for that kind of privileged information, you will need to be at the advances or on the phone, right? But it was pretty wonderful to find out. So now, before we get to the channelings, I want to piggyback on the recent April 29th, 2018 channeling, where Adama, the high priest of Telos, actually came to speak to us. That was a wonderful and inspiring channeling. And Telos, as you may or may not know, is a fifth dimensional society that exists in Hollow Earth under Mount Shasta. And in this, so I was recently sent a channeling, a different and outside channeling, which was entitled Codes of Entry. And this was fascinating because it tells us that some of us will be invited to actually visit Telos. And it tells us the requirements, if you will, for anyone who wishes to visit. And I was told also that this message is a bit older by the person who said it, but I can't actually find the exact date, so I was having trouble with that. But hopefully we're now approaching the time that some of us can go. And I can tell you, I am putting in my application. There it is, you have my application. Of course, as with everything, we do encourage you to do your own research and verify if this message is valid and if it's valid and appropriate for you particularly. I am putting the link to that in the notes below. So now to our channeling for the day, starting with the unmatchable Commander Ashtar. You know, we are in a continuing process to awaken, many more across the planet. And this was predicted many lifetimes ago, minus the catastrophes of the old timeline, you know, the old way it was going to go, you know, with the apocalypse. That's not going to happen now. This new timeline now is all about expanding the consciousness inside of love. And the Galactics have been, he tells us, in the final portions of the preparation phase. And now they're ready to move into the action phase, which is going to bring about many more sightings. Yeehaw! Right? And many who have not seen these sightings will see them now as they begin to uncloak themselves more and more. And it's still for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. The sightings are for us, the forerunners and the wayshowers, who are anchoring and spreading the light. And therefore our galactic brothers and sisters who, and our galactic brothers and sisters are preparing the way with us. So they're preparing the way, we're preparing the way, and we're all doing this together. Meanwhile, this preparing the way is also happening below us within the earth with the Agarthans and those of Telos and other places there. I never really quite realized that there were other places, but there you go. They are preparing the way and beginning to open their doors. So now we hear a validation of the message from Adama in the channeling I just spoke about, right? Regarding the opening of the doors in Telos. And this opening, we're now told by Commander Ashtar, is not for everyone, but it's for those who are ready. And we're also been told that we have been to the ships and the inner earth before, and there are realms upon realms that we have not seen or known of because we did not yet have the eyes to see them. So that's also changing now. We as a collective have gone into systems before and busted them open. And that's why we're known as the system busters. And that's what we're about to do. We're preparing the way for the light to overcome the darkness. And then there will be no more darkness and no more fear. How cool is that? I love it. I love it. And if we can imagine a world like that, we just begin to see what is possible. And that's what we were told by Ashtar. We just, touching the edge of it. And then Ashtar left us with his peace and love and asked us to go out and share the love and understanding and light that we all are. Woo! Isn't that great? So inspiring. Then came one who serves, and he said that many of us are beginning to hear him, and those not from 3D. And we're conversing with them as they come into our minds. But they're not peeping or taking over our minds. That's against the Prime Directive. Like in Star Trek, we have that Prime Directive. And we ourselves are also given the Prime Directive not to interfere with another spiritual understanding and progression. Interfering is actually making a judgment. And that's what judge not, that ye be not judged means. No one but ourselves will ever judge us, by the way, and certainly not the Prime Creator. But as we judge another, so we judge ourselves. That's pretty much how that goes. So one of our callers did have the experience of interacting with one who serves in her daily life and was very moved. So she thanked him. And he said that not only she, but others will also begin to hear them as well. And as we raise in vibrations, many more can communicate with them directly, and not just through this channel or through a channel or such as James. Right? It'd be direct communication. So another caller felt what she thought was a hand on her upper spine as she slept one night. And this, said one who serves, was not really a hand, but it was the feeling of the Kundalini rising. And many of us are going to have similar experiences and different feelings like this, we're told. And here's the thing. If we don't go into fear mode, and if we stay neutral, we will recognize or begin to recognize this for what it is. So that's pretty cool. So then a question was asked about Cobra and the resistance movement and what has been called the entry protocol. Is it true that some of us can go to Inner Earth, and can we bring our pets? That was the basic gist of this particular question. So what one who serves said is that many such propositions are coming, and we are advised to use our discernment. What's true or right for one of us is not always true or right for another one of us. And this is part of our process, for us to discern this. We have to look within to see if it feels right. And if it feels right, it is right. And that said, what Cobra brings us is brought from the Pleaidian civilization. He brings what he is directed to bring by them, and he follows their directives closely. And that said, we have been told that the doors to the Agarthans are opening. And we're now told that in the past, this would have been for a very select few who were predetermined. Now that's not the case anymore. Those that are ready and invited can go. They can go. And it's also not true, by the way, we're told that if we go, we're actually banished from the surface here. But it is true that it is an important decision we make to go. And if we go, we must follow the protocols they have set up for this. So they're preparing the way for a select few. This is not for everyone. It's a small percentage of the population. Yet in the past, we're told, we might have counted those that are going to be invited on one hand. And now it may be hundreds or even thousands that get invited. That's pretty cool. And perhaps, says one who serves, it may even be some people from this group. Whoa, come on! How about that? I'm putting in my application. Meanwhile, this group is being prepared for a great mission. And more and more of us are going to be contacted from above and from below. And we can count on that. And if we do go to Agartha or the ships, we cannot bring our cats and dogs. But if we experience, for instance, 3 months away, it's actually only going to be minutes or a day here on the Earth. So we're not going to miss much, so don't worry about your little precious pet. Sounds pretty perfect, doesn't it? Then another caller wanted to know about Kanye West and about what he had to say about Trump being dragon energy. That Kanye West said that Trump is the dragon energy. So the dragon energy is a good thing. This is what one who serves said. We're moving to a place to bring back the elementals to our world, dragons included. And the dragons are working behind the scenes to assist us in the ascension. And they're not the horrific, bloodthirsty beings they've been portrayed as. This is absolutely not true. They're mainly of the light. And my own particular dragon friend is more like Puff the Magic Dragon, I would say, right? And we are going to experience these dragons again on the surface here, as we once did, as we get to the time for that. So Trump is the dragon energy in that he's bringing changes to this situation against great obstacles. Obama, we're told, also tried to bring the light, but his light was gradually diminished. So Donald Trump is not going to be extinguished. It may look like he moves slowly, but he is doing everything he came to do, while also surrounded by a whole lot that is not of the light. And we're also told that he does not know or understand some of what we know, and he does have an experience in knowing of many things that we do not know. So, we're told we can read into that. So now how about then Kanye West? Is he having a breakdown? Is he having a breakthrough? He's been sounding to us awfully kind of awakened lately. And of course, mass media calls this more symptoms of his nervous breakdown 2 years ago. But we have a different thought on that. So what's up with that? So one who serves says that he's not referring specifically to Kanye, but he is saying that breakdown often precedes a breakthrough, especially going from one dimension to another one. It's the breakdown of the old paradigm and breakthrough to the new one. And this is that thing we spoke of, that compression breakthrough. And some of you may recall our wonderful Randy/Joy spoke of this at the last advance in one of her workshops. It was a wonderful workshop. And she talked about, like a seed has to get to a point where it breaks through the shell. It's a compression breakthrough. And this is what this is, in our lives as well. And I hope to get you more of the advanced videos coming up soon, so those of you who missed it can get the lowdown and see what wonderful stuff you missed. And then you're going to want to move heaven and earth to get to the next advance. I promise you that. Okay, so how about those 12 and 12 councils? Who created them and what's up with them? Well, we were told that this 12 council of 12 structure, 12 councils of 12 structure of councils for the earth is being managed by Sananda. And he's going to use these groups to bring forth whatever he wishes to bring forth or that needs to be brought forth. And that's all one who serves could say now, because this is going to be expanded on greatly at the next advance. and it's going to take on a much deeper and greater meaning. So be there or be square, as the saying goes. So then someone wanted to know about Q, or QAnon, as they say. What's up with him? Is he of the light? And one who serves said that he is one of the individuals receiving great attention who is working to bring about this great consciousness shift. Yes, he is. And he's kind of working to take out, so to speak, in a light worker kind of way, the ones who would try to interfere with this shift of consciousness. And there are others, such as Donald Trump, who are doing the same, working to shift the paradigm, bring in the new technologies, and remove any obstacles. Q is a part of that great orchestration. Yet it may be confusing because he and the others are kind of couching their terminology for obvious reasons. So, we again need to use our discernment to understand what they say. But here's the thing. The whistleblowers are coming forward, and soon this is going to be like an avalanche of light and truth that can't be stopped. And that's coming. It's right on the way. So that was all that he could say about that particular issue. So next, there was a question about clones. And we were told, yes, clones are real. It's gone way beyond sheep cloning. And yes, humans had been cloned. And it was necessary for the Alliance to get to the root of this and close down their ability to clone. Because otherwise, what would happen is that the light forces would take an individual out, and then he would be back again. And this would happen over and over. So they basically closed down the bases and the access for individuals to be cloned anymore. It cannot be done anymore now. So we can kind of rest easy on that. And cloning, by the way, came from the ET. And the powers that be did utilize cloning for a long time before the public had any clue of it. So that's what's up with that. So did you ever wonder, by the way, about Sananda and his name? Well, here's the lowdown on that. The name comes from long ago, and the ah sound at the end is the most important thing here. And we've heard about that ah sound in another channeling, and how it's sort of a sacred ancient sound, if you will. And Sananda and Sanat are both Kumaras from Venus. And they're two of the 7 flame lords that are all Kumaras. And Kumara is a title, just as Christ and Buddha are titles. They indicate a level of advancement. And eventually, these individuals that are now Kumaras are going to advance even more to a new evolution, just as we're advancing. And they are going to literally go where no one has gone before. Pretty cool, isn't that? So then was a question, how do we connect with those higher dimensional beings? And we were told, be like the Nike ad, just do it. Don't try so hard. Don't need to have it look some way. We're told that we all want the bells and the whistles here, clear images, crystal clear communication, guilty as charged on that, by the way. I do look for that. And when we don't get what we think it is supposed to be, right, we get discouraged and we give up. But we were told this. Go into the meditative state and just reach out and let it go. Be sort of effortless effort. And this is going to get us the result. That's what we're told. And I'll also say personally that when I go in with that kind of a perspective, it does work out quite well for me. So, okay, one caller was on a trip to Glastonbury, England, and he had a dream that he was walking along the very high Tor, which is, I guess, some kind of a sacred place. And it's very, very high up. And the number 44 kept coming up for him, or he kept seeing it or something. And he wondered if this was an indication of the opening of his third eye, because up on the tour there, he could see all around from that vantage point. And one who served said that yes, he did interpret that correctly, in that he is going to be able to see beyond what others can see and see the bigger picture. And meanwhile, the number 44 is important to him, but in a personal sense that he's going to have to discover for himself. That's pretty much how that usually is, right? For many of us, we have to discover things for ourselves. Now, there was a question on blockchain technology and cryptocurrency. And we were told that cryptocurrency is probably not going to become a viable part of the new money system, because it was pushed forward by the cabal, and the alliance have gone up against it. And on the question of currency, everyone is attempting to come to an understanding and a balance, a way for this to work for the many and not just the few, as it has, since time immemorial. And blockchain technology, by the way, is not extraterrestrial, but it is a part of the transition we're moving through. And they don't advise us to buy the technology now or not buy the technology now. That's for each of us to discern from within. And the same, by the way, for the currencies we might have bought. Currencies are a part of the process. The currency reset is real. It will occur. It's been stopped many times for various reasons, but it will happen. That's a good thing. Please. Woo! We want that, right? We had one caller and her sister, and they are seeing numbers a lot. 333, 11:11. And she said they're getting kind of nervous. The nervousness, we're told, stems from a feeling of leaving the unknown 3D illusion. Like we know we're leaving the 3D illusion to go to the unknown, because these weird things are happening. And the unknown always makes us nervous. So we're told to find that 0 point or point of neutrality within the heart chakra. And once we find that point of neutrality, it's no longer going to matter whether we're in 3D or some other dimension, because we're neutral, right? So it's okay. And the actual numbers, by the way, are for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. 11:11 is a gateway to the higher realm. 12:12 and 333 is the awakening of the light quotient within us and the reconnection of our DNA. And only when we're ready only when we're ready do we see these things. Only when we're ready. And many of us on the calls are ready and seeing these things, right? So one who serves then closed by advising us to go with the flow and allow the flow within us. Let go of the past and live in the moment or the perfect now. And as we live in that place of neutrality, every moment of now is a perfect moment, creating for us a perfect future. Like, wow, man. That is so cool. Isn't that cool? Thank you, one who serves, for your great wisdom. And thank you, Commander Ashtar, for your inspirational words. And thank you all as well for listening to me here today. I send you all my love, joy, peace, ease, prosperity, and luscious, delicious states of bliss. Namaste.